Alright, so that was ToyCon 2026, and yes, it was that good. Hi everyone, and welcome again to another video. Today I'm going to review the ToyCon 2026, which was held on the weekend of 28th and 29th March at the MFCC in Taali. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer: this video is not sponsored. Everything I'm going to say is purely my honest opinion. I paid full price to attend, and anything I'm about to say is purely based on my own opinion. So let's start. I'm going to break down this video into what I liked, what I liked less, and finally what I would like to see in the next edition of this convention. The first thing which stood out was the scale of this convention. It's hard to believe that this convention started in a garage. And I also saw a post from the organizer saying that around 300 tables were on display during that weekend. So that goes to show the scale, the massive scale of this convention. So ToyCon is a little bit different from Comic-Con. There are no big guest appearances or stage shows. Instead, it focuses on toys, collectibles, memorabilia, nostalgia, and the community around it. There was a large variety of toys and collectibles in the numerous booths and displays, and it was just so fun and nostalgic to go and witness that. The retro section was honestly one of the highlights of this convention. Seeing memorabilia from the 90s as well as retro consoles like the Atari were such a joy to see, and I literally felt the nostalgia rushing. It was really nice. You could also get a sense of the strong community there. There were Beyblade arenas where players were competing against each other, and also there was a section where people were playing cards against each other. So there was the element of competition, which is nice in a convention like this. The MFCC was booming with local talent. Booths and tables with local creators, vendors, shops selling anything from 3D printed statues or comics, artwork, illustrations, toys, gadgets, LED signs, puzzles, Funko Pop, manga, comics, and the list goes on and on. One of the things I'm noticing in Malta and these conventions as time goes by is the surge of the 3D printing scene. And I was so impressed to see such high quality, highly detailed characters. This industry is getting better year by year. Another sweet touch were the two replica cars which were on display there, namely the KITT from Knight Rider car and the A-Team van. Seeing the replica of KITT car was something so nostalgic. And also, since I saw this in Comic-Con in Japan, I immediately thought of that, which brings me some nice memories. So the standard entry ticket for ToyCon was €7 for 1 day. And if you ask me, it's very reasonable for what you get. Also, during the convention, there were some special offers and prices, such as certain comic books and mangas were at a discounted rate of €5, which was very good considering that the average price of a manga in bookshops in Malta is over €10. The layout was actually very well done. It was well spaced, people could interact and walk. It didn't feel cluttered at all, but at the same time it didn't feel empty. The attendance was very big, and I believe it was the biggest turnaround yet in this convention. Now I'm going to briefly talk about the things which I liked less. Let's talk about the recreational area. First of all, good props to the organizers for providing a proper seating area with tables. It's something that's really needed in an event like this. There were also 2 food stands available, which cover the basics, but I do think this is an area that could be improved. There's clearly enough space here to increase that to maybe 4 or 5 food stands. More stands would mean more variety, shorter queues, and overall a much smoother experience. At one point, I even saw people stepping outside to meet delivery drivers to get food, which is convenient, but ideally you'd want everything available inside the event. So this is definitely something that could be improved in future editions. Moreover, this might be a stretch, but I think having some type of VR or simulator experience will potentially take conventions like this to the next level. But apart from that, I don't have any complaints. So my final verdict, after talking about what I liked and what I would like to see improved in the future editions of ToyCon, I can say that it was absolutely worth it. It is very clear that in Malta there is a huge demand for these type of conventions. There are a lot of gamers, a lot of collectors, people love collecting retro memorabilia, and the demand of 3D printing gadgets and figures is just growing and growing day by day. I think Malta, we arrived at a point where these type of conventions are popular, they are mainstream now, and they can only grow going forward. As with every growing and evolving thing, there is room for improvement, but that is the nice part of it, because we can only grow bigger. And I am so glad that my country is finally on the map with the other countries. Maybe not on the same scale, but we arrived at a point where it's absolutely worth it to attend these conventions. So what did you think of ToyCon 2026? Did you attend? Did you give it a miss? What were the things which you liked the most? Were there any things which stood out for you? If so, leave a comment down below. I would really like to see what were your thoughts. Last but not least, I will try my best to upload more frequently. Recently, I have been uploading very randomly. In fact, my last video was from November last year, which was like 3 months ago. The reason was that I was really busy on a personal level and I just couldn't have the time and mental space to upload. But going forward, I will really try to make it a point and upload more often. Whenever there are conventions or something interesting, I will try and do my best to cover it and share it with you. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon this time. And until next time, stay geeky, stay positive, stay curious. Peace.